This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud to be the Patriot. I hope everyone had a safe 4th of July. What a great celebration. What a great celebration for this great country of ours. I just wish everybody would take the mentality of the 4th of July, take their feelings, take their actions, and spread that out for 365 days. We should have the 4th of July every day of the year. People flying their American flags, people praising this great country of ours, people having a good time, some camaraderie, coming together. People that don't know each other meet each other at the parks, at the fireworks displays, and everyone has a good time reminiscing about this great country. But, you know, when you reminisce, when you think back, it ain't all good, people. You know, I love my mother, love my father to death. But it wasn't always good. The little spankings weren't good. Being chastised for getting kicked out of school for talking wasn't good. There was a lot of bad times. But you got to I can't sit back and say, well, yes, I can. I can sit back and say, hey, I loved my parents. They were great people. I had a great time coming up. It was great to me. I didn't know it wasn't so great till I found out different when I got exposed to other elements, like what the hell is this, 3 meals a day? I thought 1 meal a day was appropriate. But when the times were bad, I can't blot those out of my memory. You can't blot the bad times out of your memory. Are you crazy? You'd like to, but you can't. Hey, I didn't like Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil was an asswipe. We got a picture of me and Mom and Dad and Uncle Phil, and I'm using Uncle Phil. That really wasn't my uncle, but Uncle Phil was really an asswipe, a real jerk-off. Not as bad as politicians, mind you, but he was just about as bad. So we've got a picture of him on the wall. The fat little bastard's right in the middle of the picture with his roly-poly body, and we didn't like Uncle Phil. So every time we think about and talk about our family get-togethers, we talk about the good times and we talk about the bad times. But we don't want to talk about the bad times anymore because it's not as much fun. So let's take Uncle Phil's face and roly-poly body. Let's get some scissors and let's cut Uncle Phil out of that picture completely. Then when you look at the picture, guess what? Got a nice picture with a big round hole in the middle. Somebody asked, what was that? Well, that was Uncle Phil. We didn't like the son of a bitch. He did some bad things. He was a piece of crap. So we just took him out of the picture. And by the way, from now on, don't ask about Uncle Phil, okay? Because we're forgetting about Uncle Phil. We're changing our family's history. We were embarrassed about some of the things he did. So we don't want to talk about Uncle Phil anymore. Uncle Phil's forgot about. We're going to change our family tree. We're going to cut off that one branch. When people ask, we're going to say, hey, don't ask. Because we're going to change our family's history. And that's what we're doing in this great country of ours, people. We're attempting to change our family's history. And guess what? You can't do it. It is what it is. Didn't like Uncle Phil. Didn't like what he stood for. Did not like some of his actions. But guess what? He was still our Uncle Phil. And what he did, he did. We forgave him. Oh, yes, we forgave him for what he did. He wasn't right, but he was part of our family. So we forgave him. And guess what? This United States of America, this great country of ours, it's our Uncle Sam. That's the analogy I was coming up with. It's our Uncle Sam, not our Uncle Phil, but our Uncle Sam. And Uncle Sam wasn't always a good guy. Our Uncle Sam did things that weren't right. Uncle Sam made a lot of mistakes. Uncle Sam, a great uncle, made some bad choices. Fought some wars maybe we shouldn't have fought. Got some of our brave military heroes killed when they shouldn't have died. But guess what? He was our uncle, Uncle Sam. We don't want to forget about Uncle Sam, do we? We remember Uncle Sam every day. We live in this great country that's free. We fly Old Glory to honor Uncle Sam. Now, Uncle Sam wasn't always right. You remember I talked about a few days ago. Uncle Sam might have got us in a few wars that we shouldn't have been in. Might have got some of our brave military heroes killed that should never have died. Did some bad things back in the day, our Uncle Sam did. I'll bring it up again. Remember when Uncle Sam had our troops flying the Old Glory? Go to the Native American land, the Native Americans who were here long before we came over, our ancestors came over from Britain and wherever else they came. Our Uncle Sam told our soldiers, go take, well, that's too nice a word, go steal that land from the Native American Indians. And I'm not a Native American. I don't have a dog in the fight. The only dog I've got in the fight is a fight for freedom, the fight for democracy, a fight for free will in this great country. But to continue the story, old Uncle Sam, go, my children, and destroy the Native American Indians. The same Native American Indians that have been here generations before us. The same Native American Indians who just wanted to live free, wanted to live in their tribes. Now, they fought each other, but that's just inbreeding, and that's the way it is. But they fought each other. They didn't want to fight the United States of America. They didn't want to fight the Union troops. But here come the Union troops. And it wasn't a war. And people can get mad at me. Hey, Romanik's reminding us of something that wasn't good. We don't want to remember something that wasn't good. We want to knock that out of history. That's the point I'm making. You can't change history. You can't reinvent history. History is history, you idiots. For you ones that are trying to change history, you can't. But back to my story. They go in, they massacre men, women, and children, innocent men, women, and children, trying to protect their land that they've had for all these generations, trying to protect their families. Here come the Union soldiers. They kill men, women, and children, innocent men, women, and children. Uncle Sam wasn't a good guy back then, but we forgave Uncle Sam because nobody's perfect in this world. We forgave him. And we continue to forgive him. Now, we try to celebrate the good things on the 4th of July and our federal holidays that represent this great country of ours, and we do. We do a great job. But we can only not forget We can't change, and we can't destroy, and we can't manipulate what happened back in the day. But we forgave Uncle Sam, and we have to forgive. We forgave the Vietnamese. They're over here, great people. But remember the 70s, the late 60s? Man, we'd kill every one of them, and we killed quite a few. And they, in turn, in the Vietnam War, killed quite a few of our heroes. That's forgot about. Oh, yes, that's forgot about. You see the Vietnamese flag flying all over. Good restaurants. Part of our great culture in this great United States. We forgave them. Oh, let's not forget the Japanese. The Japanese, remember? Pearl Harbor? We didn't forget about Pearl Harbor. We didn't wipe that off the face of the earth, did we? Hell no, we didn't. But you can fly the Japanese flag day in and day out. We've forgiven these good people. We let them have their heritage. We let them have their history. We let them have their traditions, whatever it may be. We don't go back and say, you can't fly that rising sun flag because of Pearl Harbor. No, it was what it was. We forgave. We never forgot, but we forgave. We didn't try to change the history books about Pearl Harbor. That was bad. A sneak attack on the United States of America, those rotten, no-count, low-life, good-for-nothing son of a bitchin' Japanese. But that was back in the day. Now they're part of us because we have to forgive, but never forget. And we can't change that part of history. So I ask you, why the hell are we trying to change history now with this Confederate flag? We're going to do some housekeeping. We're going to come back to this. Anybody have a take? Feel free to call toll-free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. The Moose Lodge, Lodge 1221, their 5th annual golf classic, coming up this Saturday, July the 11th. It will be held at the Triple Lakes Golf Tournament in Millstadt, Illinois. Any questions or concerns, you can call Royce at 618-539-6030. Got a great big banner here from the Millstadt Fireman's Picnic. Great people out in Millstadt. I want to salute you guys for a great town, a great place to live, and a great place to go to. Coming up, the Millstadt Fireman's Picnic, Saturday and Sunday, July the 10th and the 11th at Liederkranz Park in Millstadt, Illinois, Friday night. The Well Hungarians will be playing. And Saturday night, Hillbilly Authority. Now, I don't know. If I'm from the South, I take offense to hillbilly. No, I don't. You know, we can make light of ourselves. We have to. But anyway, they're going to have chicken dinners, Chicago ball tournaments, whatever the heck that is. They're going to have fried fish, a lot of great music, always put on a good show out in Millstadt. So that's this coming Saturday, July the 10th and the 11th. On this date, July the 6th, 1928, the first all-talking picture, The Lights of New York, was previewed in New York City. On this date, July the 6th, 1933, the first All-Star game in Major League Baseball was played in Chicago, the American League One. Hell, that's what's little. Hell, that's all that happened. Must have been a bad day on July the 6th. I guess everybody all throughout the years are hung over from July the 4th holiday. So that's what's little that happened in our world's history. Don't forget, pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming at insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling. You can like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or our sister station, the best in the Golden Oldies at KZQZ 1430 AM. You can also pick me up every day at 4 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday, for my rebroadcast. And now, broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night, Monday through Friday, at the stroke of midnight. I want to say hello, met some great people over the weekend. Can't get all their names in an hour's time, but I I want to say hi to Janice Henson, a nice lady I met in Wood River. Rick Laird, local 520. Met him at Casey's in Jerseyville, Illinois. Rick and all the guys at 520, I want to tell you, I respect all of our union people. So Rick and all the great guys at local 520 want to say hello to you. And while I was up in Jersey County, I met, and I've talked to him before, Mr. Floyd Alexander. He's the Republican County Board Chairman for Jersey County in Jerseyville, Illinois. And I want to say, Floyd, thank you very much. Had a great conversation. I will be getting back with you. Also, I want to say hi to Bob Blair, great guy. And over the weekend, had a little incident at the zoo, the St. Louis Zoo. Some inbred bastards pounding on the glass at the primate cage, scaring all the animals. And got into a little heated discussion, I may say. And I knew I was in trouble. He's about 6'4", 5", had no teeth, had a couple teeth, spitting, talking all over. But him and his mother, and he was probably 40, his mother was probably 65, they're holding hands dressed the same. So now I know there's some problems going to happen because there's some inbred son of a bitches. So I got in a little argument, and it was all taken care of. But I want to salute Detective Christopher Murray and all of his cohorts. They came out and took care of the situation. But I'll be damned, I'm not going to let somebody antagonize and scare these poor animals. You know, what the hell's wrong with people? Not going to let it happen. I'm not going to let it happen. And I know you wouldn't. But having said that, I want to say hello. Again, the Detective Christopher Murray and all the guys and ladies that were out there at the zoo on Saturday. And I want to say hi to Bob Murray from Creve Corps. What a great, hey Bob, I got to tell you, you've raised one hell of a good son. Detective Christopher Murray, very professional, very nice. So I want to say, Bob, throughout your life, whatever you've done, you made one good choice. You had your son, Chris, and you trained him and brought him up right. So I want to salute you, Bob Murray from Creve Corps, for having such a professional and nice son, and everybody, men, women, at the St. Louis Police Department for all you do for us, not just today, but every day in our lives. Thank you very much. Let's stay on this theme. I'm going to get on Clay Barn. But did you understand? And you got to understand where I'm coming from. You got to understand. We can't change history. And it pisses me off. And I say to you, every true American, if we don't, and I'm not a racist. I'm a proud white man. I'm not proud of what the South did. I don't agree with the philosophy of the Confederate Army. I don't even like the design on their flag. But that doesn't mean they can't fly that flag. That doesn't mean that we got to change the course of history. Hey, remember our Uncle Sam? We didn't change the course of history there. We remember what happened with the Native American Indians. Old Glory was flying when that atrocious act went on. And the Confederate flag was flying when the Civil War went on. We cannot, people, change history. And then I hear they're taking off the Dukes of Hazzard. And they're going to repaint General Lee. And I guess they're going to put the Union flag on. And the car can't be General Lee anymore. It's going to have to be called General Grant, I guess. And I don't think that's fair to the people in the South. I've been down to the South twice in my life. Never flown the Confederate flag. Never wanted to fly the Confederate flag. I always wanted to fly this great flag of the United States of America. And I wanted to fly that flag because it meant freedom. You hear me, people? It meant freedom for every one of us. Freedom. Not freedom if you agree with me, or not freedom if I agree with you, but freedom because we're all free. But when our politicians try to be politically correct and say we're getting rid of the Confederate flag, I think you're crazy. And you know how much, if you listen to me over one day, you know how much I love and respect this great United States of America. We're the patriot. We play military music on 1190 at 11 o'clock every Sunday. We play that same hour honoring our military troops every Saturday from noon to 1 p.m. on KZQZ. A whole hour of nothing but military music. We don't take sponsorships. We lose money. But it makes no difference because we love this great country. So nobody ever say that Bob Romanik's not an American, not a true patriot, because I am. And being a true patriot, it troubles me. And I say, if we can't fly the Confederate flag wherever we want to, not me, but maybe people down south, maybe some people up north. If we can't fly the Confederate flag, I say let's take down Old Glory. And it pains me and hurts me to say that. Because if we can't fly this Confederate flag, our flag, Old Glory, stands for nothing. It's just like the Confederate flag at that point. It's just a piece of cloth with stars and stripes and colors on it. If we can't, listen to me, people, if we can't fly the Confederate flag, then the United States of America flag, Old Glory, means nothing. It's a symbol of freedom, people. Freedom for everyone, not just freedom when we want and agree with people. I've disagreed with a lot of people. You know I don't like these politicians, but they've got every right to live free. They've got every right to say what they want. They never do. They'll never call me because they have nothing to defend, but they have the right to do it, and I give them the right on this radio station day in and day out. Now, you're going to have to take off All in the Family. All in the Family. Remember All in the Family? They used the word hunky. They didn't have the word cracker back then. They used the word nigger. They used those two words. Now somebody get pissed at me because I'm pissed at what our society's trying to do. They're going to have to take off all the shows with Archie Bunker. The N-word was used several times. The hunky word was used several times. I remember Sammy Davis Jr. using the word hunky. But that's okay. It's only a word. It's only a word. We're not going to stop playing all those shows. Now, I did hear that Gone in the Wind will not be played on one station anymore. And I make a point. How asinine, how egregious is that? That because there was some bad things happen, that we have to destroy our history? You cannot destroy history. That monument over in St. Louis for the Confederacy, you can't destroy that. If you destroy that, you destroy the American way of life. Because there'll be a group come and say, hey, we don't like Donald Duck. Let's get rid of Donald Duck. Let's get rid of Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse. This is the United States of America, people. Wise up. And even more than wise up, apparently you're sleeping. Wake up. This great country stands for freedom for all. Freedom for all. You understand me? Apparently some people don't. This flag situation. What about Ferguson? Remember Ferguson? No, nobody remembers Ferguson now. Hell no, we got this flag situation. This Confederate flag, we don't destroy it. If we don't change history, if we don't get rid of every semblance of this Confederate flag, guess what? I guess that Confederate flag is going to walk into your house one day and shoot you. We've got Ferguson. What about all the riots, all the killings? What about the poverty in this great country, the pain and suffering? And so we're so concerned about a Confederate flag. We're using all of our energy. What about the terrorist? Well, I heard more talk over the 4th of July weekend about the flag, the Confederate flag, than I did about the terrorist activity. Now, how shameful is that? It's just about time that we wake up and wise up, people, black, white, men, women, Democrats, Republicans. Let's throw the politicians into the mix. This great country of ours cannot survive if we continue to focus on changing our history, our country's history. We can't change what happened in the Civil War. We can never change that. But we also can't change what happened in Vietnam. We can't change what happened on the Native American reservations. We're not trying to change that history. We're still flying our glorious Old Glory, and I love Old Glory. I love this great country and what it stands for. But we can't be hypocrites, people. We can't be hypocrites. If we're going to have freedoms for ourselves, we have to have freedoms for others. Because you've heard me. If we allow someone's freedom to be taken away today, our freedoms are in jeopardy of being taken care of tomorrow. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are proud, most of the time, proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Hear me, people. Freedom. Look it up in the dictionary. Freedom, people. The guardian of the First Amendment. Radical radio at its finest. And we are, as well, most of the time, not always, most of the time, proud to be the Patriot. I don't want to keep harping on this Confederate flag, and it's not about the Confederate flag, it's about our freedoms, people. I talked to people over the weekend, white and black. But the whites, it's, I don't know. You got to know. It's not a racial thing when you stand up for your freedoms, what you believe in, what you think. It's not racial. It's your right as an American. It's your right as an American to think and speak free. You know, they're taking no sales of the Confederate flag on Amazon, no sales of the Confederate flag on eBay. Now, no one made them do it. The hell they didn't. It's politically correct crap. If you don't take those sales down to the Confederate flags, we're going to picket. We're going to march. We're going to do whatever. And you've heard me before, rather have 5 black guys in my cause than 50 whites because the white bastards are lame. But let me take a second out to say this one thing. I've earned my way, not as a white man, but an American. I've earned my way to the front of that bus. I've earned a seat on the front of that bus. Now, I'll share it with every black man, every white man, every black woman, every white woman that has earned their way, who have earned a seat at the front of the bus. I'll make room for you. But listen to me clear, people, as a proud white man, and it's not racial. I've earned and deserve my seat at the front of the bus, and if you think any of you, black, white, men, women, Democrats, Republicans, think you're going to take my seat, you're in for one hell of a fight, people, because I earned that seat. I'll make room for you at the front of the bus, but you're not taking my seat. I'm not going to the back of the bus. And I say that about every proud black man, every proud black lady, every proud white man and white lady. If you've earned a position, don't let anybody of any color try to intimidate you, be politically correct. You stand your ground, people. You stand your ground. We've got a caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hello, Bob. How are you doing today?
Fine, sir.
Hey, I'm calling about this whole issue with the flag and the Dukes of Hazzard and so forth. You know, when the story broke and they started taking the flag down, I thought, oh, well, you know, it's just one of those things that happens. But then when they started, taking it off of eBay and places to buy it, and then they're going to take the Dukes of Hazzard off TV, then I really got pissed. And I thought, this is my childhood now. I wasn't being racist watching that show. So I got on Facebook. I thought, I'm going to see if there's any activity going on here. And there was a Facebook page that had just been created, had 50 likes on it. Last night it was over 4,000. And the reason I'm telling you about that is because I couldn't get over how many black people were upset about it, okay? And then it, dawned on me, I thought, I don't think this is necessarily coming from black people. I think this is coming from a bunch of idiot liberal white people. I was just thinking about all this. When I was little, I watched a movie one time with some friends of mine. I thought, what a great movie. And I didn't even know what it was. I tried to research it, and it was Song of the South. And, I find out, Disney doesn't produce it. You can't buy it. And what's ironic about it is, the smartest guy in the movie was a black man, and then they're going to take Gone with the Wind off TV forever. Yeah. Well, you can't even buy it.
No, here's the, and thanks, sir, stick around. I'll get with you. I've got a zillion callers. It says about the Confederate flag. It says, would you want all monuments removed that have anything to do with slavery? That's the question. How about the death of millions of people? If your answer is yes, the one monument I've been talking about with slavery is, guess what? Mount Rushmore. One of those presidents had hundreds of slaves. Another one didn't think the blacks should have equal rights. The American flag was flying over our country when we killed millions of Native American Indians. So which flag is more offensive? That person must have been listening to me. What are we going to do? We're going to blow up Mount Rushmore? What I'm saying is you can't change history. You can't pull out the bad parts of history. You can't pull out the bad parts of your family, the black sheep in your family. You have to take it for what it is, and you have to live with it. Sir, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever happened, 200 years before we were alive. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Just lop off our head and arms and wait until it's okay to exist. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you the other point here, because I could go on about this. I'll tell you what, they better not come from my Fred Sanford, and they better not come from my Jeffersons, even though, the Jeffersons made fun of white people, and even Sanford's son. But, we didn't know we were being racist, and we didn't know we were being made fun of. I don't think you have the right to be rewarded for being offended in this country. But, the thing is, and one other thing I get off of here, you had a guest last week, I think Mr. Ingram. I'd like to know next time you talk to him if he loves our country. He said that black people have a whole different take on the 4th of July. First of all, every time I talk, I don't think I, can talk for a bunch of white people because I'm white. If there's every patriotic black person under the bus when he starts saying that they got a whole different take. And I would like to also know if he finds our flag oppressive. Those are two questions I'd like for him to answer, either yes or no. And I'll get off of here. I enjoy the show.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. We've got a lot of callers. Callers call in because we'll try to take a few more. But I understand what this gentleman's saying. He sounds like a white guy. I should ask him if he's a proud white man, black man, because that's always the take. Because we're going to have different opinions because I'm white and I didn't grow up in a black man's shoes. I grew up in a black man's area, but a black man didn't grow up in my white boy's shoes. He may have been associated with the whites. So we're going to have different opinions. We're going to have different disagreements. But we're still Americans, people, and we all have the right. We all have the right to feel the way we feel, to think the way we think. Until somebody walks individually in our shoes, let's not try to say we can't talk. I can say, talk all you want, you idiot, about the Confederate flag. But after you talk about that Confederate flag, and I agree that you can talk as long as you want about the Confederate flag, I'll disagree with what it stands for. I'll disagree with you, but I'm not going to disagree that you have the right to fly that flag, to wear that flag, to kiss that flag. If you want to have sex with that flag, have sex with that flag. It's the idea of freedom, people. Freedom. Look it up in the dictionary. I'm serious. Let's don't lose sight of the bigger picture. I said before, you can get a Japanese flag. Look at how they killed All of our people at Pearl Harbor. Look at the Vietnamese flag. And this is stuff that happened in our lifetime. This Confederate war crap happened years back for our great-grandfathers. We weren't even touched by it. We were touched by Pearl Harbor. We were touched by Vietnam. We were touched by these wars. But we still let the Japanese fly their flag of heritage in this great country. We still let the Vietnamese fly their great flag. We even let the Germans fly their great flag. But the Confederate Army can't fly theirs? What the hell is wrong in this great country, this land of the free? This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, and we are always proud, even though there's some bumps in the road, we're always proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud to be the Patriot. I have our good friend, a worldwide traveler, Charlie America, just stopped in and he said, Bob, I just looked on the internet and you can get the swastika armband for $7.95. But you have to say that it's for theatrical purposes only. What kind of crap is that? You can get the ISIS flag, but you can't get the Confederate flag? See, and people say, hey, my enemies, my black enemies, they'll say, hey, you heard Romanik? He's a racist, talking about supporting the Confederate flag. No, I don't support the Confederate flag in any way, shape, or form. But I support this great United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. That's what I support. So all you rotten bastards, black and white, that don't like me politically, to try to flip the script, I've done more for the black community than any black son of a bitch down there. And I did say black son of a bitch, and there are a lot of white son of a bitches in Belleville. And having said that, people, tomorrow maybe we'll stay on this flag. We've got a lot of callers. We're not going to have much time. But I got to say, this is Bob Romanik talking. I am a member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and I hope all you people are. And you know what's good about the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition? It gives us the right to have our opinion. We all don't have to agree on everything in the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, but what we have to agree upon is we've got one common enemy who's going to destroy all of us. That's the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, the St. Clair County culture of corruption. I've had my friends say, Romanik, you can't call Amika Jackson Hicks a black bitch, because black people, men respect their women. Well, white men respect their women too, but sometimes they're just bitches. Bitches is not a noun, it's an adjective. Somebody that's bitching all the time, somebody that's aggravating. I take offense to that. And that's what's good about this great St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Don't hold what I say, Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper, against the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Because, see, I'm an individual, as we all are. We're all uniting to get rid of the culture of corruption. We're like a family, forming a new family. We don't have to agree with each other all the time, but we have a common goal, a common cause, to let our kids grow up and be somebody. And that's what we want to do in the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. One of my proud black friends said, you're going to hurt the cause. What cause am I hurting? This is Bob Romanik. Don't take what I say, and I give the disclaimer every time I have a guest. Don't take what I say and put it in somebody else's mouth. Don't put the words in somebody else's mouth. I am a proud member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and our ultimate goal is to get rid of the culture of corruption. Now, if this Freedom Coalition is free, I should have every right to say what I want about who I want. Don't hold the Freedom Coalition, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Don't hold them hostage because Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch that you'll probably ever meet. Don't hold that against the coalition just because I'm a member. Hell, there's a member of the Democratic National Committee that been arrested for tax evasion, been arrested for murder, and on the Republican side, too. You don't hold the whole Republican Party or the Democratic Party responsible for the actions of one member. An American Legion guy gets a DUI. Hey, they're all drunks at the American Legion. No, they're not. One of their members was a drunk. And one of the members of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition is one crazy son of a bitch, and that's Bob Romanik. And there's nobody going to tell me what I can say and when I can say it. And I don't want to hurt the cause of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. But understand me, people, that's why we live in this great country. We can say what we want. We have the freedoms in this great country. And my freedom is to say what I want about who I want. If Amika Jackson Hicks wasn't the mayor, if she hadn't screwed everything up, if she'd have told the truth and did what she said she was going to do, there wouldn't be these problems. But I take offense to somebody say you can't call a black lady a bitch. I've called Mrs. Kern. I've called Mrs. Eckert. I've called white ladies in Caseyville, Brenda Williams. I never heard anybody say, hey, you can't do it. So I take a little offense to that. It's not a racial thing. It's a political thing. If these politicians don't want to get lambasted and harpooned and lampooned on the radio and on TV, if you don't want Elliot Davis shoving that microphone in your face, don't become a politician, because then you become a target for everybody. I don't go into the households and start talking about somebody's mother or sister unless they get involved in the political arena. Then they become part of the problem. Then they become part of the game. Don't get up in the fighting arena, in the boxing arena, and have somebody hit you a few times and bitch about me. Well, that guy hit me. You're up in the boxing arena. You're in a boxing match. You're going to get hit. Don't bitch about it. Either take it or get out of the ring. And I say that about these political figures. Either take it, defend yourself, or get out. But Amika Jackson, unbelievable. You stupid black bitch. You hear me? And if you were a stupid white bitch like Mrs. Kern, I'd call you a stupid white bitch. And it's not a gender thing. It's not a lady thing, a woman thing. It's an attitudinal thing. Your husband, Demarius Hicks, works for the county highway department, $50,000 a year. You make $50,000 a year as a part-time mayor that's never around. You make another $75,000 a year as a job that I believe your daddy got you at the State Capital Development Agency. You're making close to $180,000 a year, Amika. You and your husband. All at the political trough, people. You people get this bitch elected, and then she takes the money and runs. Senator Claiborne, great article by George Plosick in the newspaper. Great article. East St. Louis paid Senator Claiborne's law firm more than $778,000, over $750,000, people, to their law firm, twice as much as they got the year before when Claiborne was with another law firm. He started his own agency, and I guess, well, and this is my opinion, maybe I got to have more money because I'm running it on my own, so I'll just get more money from East St. Louis. And that's what he's done. That's what he's done. People, over $750,000 in legal fees, 2 or 3 times as much as Fairview, 2 or 3 times as much as Belleville. And then this idiot, Amika Jackson Hicks, says, well, most of it was to do with workman's compensation, disability claims. Most of it? No, Amika, only $169,000. That's about 22%. About 22% of what you guys paid Claiborne last year, and I'm sure it's going to happen again this year. 22%. I hope you don't hang around the financial department in East St. Louis, because if you got your figures that skewed, you're a bigger bitch and a stupider bitch, a more ignorant bitch than I thought you were. And that's not being a black bitch or a white bitch. That's just being an aggravating, bitchy son of a bitch. Nothing to do with color. But people, James Claiborne, and we're going to talk about him. There's going to be a lot more. You've heard me talk about it a couple weeks ago, about all this stuff was coming out, and there's going to be a whole hell of a lot more about some conflicts and everything else. But Amika Jackson Hicks, how the hell do you run this city? You were interviewed by George Palazic when you were working for the state. I'm telling you what, Amika. And then someone said, oh, no, she had to take a day off. Romanik, you cost her a day's pay. Amika, you better do everything on the state time that we pay you to do. I don't want to hear, are you making calls when you're working for me from 9 to 5, when you're working for all the good people in this great state of Illinois, getting paid $75,000 a year, benefits, a big pension at the end of the day, your husband making $50,000 a year at the county, and you making another $50,000 a year for a part-time mayor's job, and you say you go there, if you get off at 4:30, you're not there until 5 o'clock. I think I'm going to send a private investigator to follow you around, Mayor. And you know I don't mind paying for it. I'm a poor boy. I'm poor white trash. I respect money. I don't worship money. I'll spend it if it needs to be spent. You get to that city hall at 5 o'clock, what kind of work are you doing? Your department heads aren't there at 5 o'clock. What, are you sitting there twiddling your thumbs? What are you doing at 5 o'clock until business is done? What business gets done after 5 o'clock when all the department heads in East St. Louis are gone? How egregious. And you say, Mayor Amika Jackson Hicks, it's not going to be business as usual. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's going to be worse. At least Parks was around. At least Parks had his finger on the pulse of the city. He was driving around. Whether he did anything, he saw what was going on. You sit there making your big salary that we're paying for as taxpayers, that I believe Daddy got you the job, and you're going to come to City Hall at 5 and make $50,000 a year for maybe an hour. You're going to take your white vehicle, you're going to drive it to City Hall, you're going to sit around for a couple hours, then you're going to go home. You're not going to get anything done, again, because the department heads aren't around. You can't pay them overtime. What, are you going to work the city around your schedule? No, Mayor Hicks. You work your schedule around the city's needs and wants and desires, and you can't do that. But just take notice, everybody's watching you, Amika Jackson Hicks. You better do your state job on state time, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And I don't know when you're going to do your city job, but all the good people of East St. Louis in passing, you people are trying to get a job, trying to pay your bills, trying to feed your family. And Amika Jackson Hicks and her husband are making over $180,000 a year, big pensions, big benefits. And you guys can't get an ice cream for your son or daughter one day. Think about that come the 2016 elections. We're going to be all over Claiborne. We're going to run this Confederate flag situation until we can't run it anymore, because if people want to talk about it, we're here to listen. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, even though sometimes we're wrong, we are proud to be an American and the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to be all over Claiborne. We're going to be all over East St. Louis. We're going to be all over this Confederate flag situation. And I'll be damned about the Confederate flag. I don't care what it stands for. I care what this great country stands for. Freedom. And we can't take people's freedom away. We have to stop this politically correct, this crazy crap they call politically correctness. We have to live. We have to learn to live together, work together, survive together. We can't do it by taking people's rights away. But we can be successful if we all unite, come together, unite, and expose these rotten bastard political, parasitical, perverted punk politicians. Expose them, drag them over the political coals of hell. And you know the end of this story. At the end of the day, do what we have to do to get them out of the way so we can live and get leadership from the proper places, leadership from public servants, not politicians. We have to destroy these no-count, rotten, low-life, jerk-off bastards. Destroy them politically, of course. Right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American Station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ, St. Louis.